My name is Pavan Muzumdar. I'm the entrepreneur in residence at Lawrence Tech University. I came on board in 2009, September, and I'm part of something called the Curran Grant. So the Curran Grant is something that the university received from the Curran Family Foundation, and it is the goal of the Curran Grant is to promote entrepreneurship. And when we say entrepreneurship, it's not necessarily starting companies, but to promote an entrepreneurial mindset. And there are two distinct elements. Companies are obviously, what one might start, but the entrepreneurial mindset is a much broader life skill, if you will. And I'm an entrepreneur. I do this. My role here is part-time, so I'm an entrepreneur on the side. I have an advisory company that I run, and I'm also working with 4 startups right now in a consulting advisory capacity. I've often been asked to help both students and faculty in giving them any kind of advice, and I'll be happy to do so. And so that's really my primary role on campus. Pretty much anything. I mean, I can be someone as simple as just be a sounding board. I just met with a student the other day who was very typical of how I was when I started. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, there's certain elements of entrepreneurship that I know attracted me to that whole idea. I mean, some of it might have just been that I just like the idea of being an entrepreneur. And as I was talking to this lady, I think what I gave her is a sense that those are kind of great driving forces, but at some point you have to be a little bit clearer on what it is that you actually want. And so I think that was just something very simple. In other cases, I've had people kind of come to me and say that they have a technology that they want to promote and they want to market. And one of the first questions I ask them is, do you know what kind of value this technology has, or is it something that you thought was cool? And often entrepreneurs are like that, and I've made that mistake too. I've thought something was really cool and that everybody in the world would want one, and actually what it ended up being is, other than me and maybe a couple of other people, not many people wanted it. So be a little bit more disciplined about what it is that you're trying to do. It's nice to think of something being useful, but really, what does it solve the problem? Are people actually going to pay money to buy it? And how easy is it to make? How can you stop other people from making it, if you can, by protecting it in some way? So all of these things are factors that you have to consider when you start a business. So those are kind of some of the things. And then if it gets to be more specific, I might be able to point them to maybe some people that I know in my network who might be interested in learning about what they want and so on. So it's pretty open. It doesn't necessarily have to have a structure. But my goal is, if someone comes to me for help, I want to make sure that I can help them in any way that I can. Several things, actually. I thought that, I've heard of Lawrence Tech in the past. I've actually worked with a group called the MIT Enterprise Forum. And it is a entrepreneur support organization, and we have a local chapter, the Great Lakes chapter, but it is actually part of MIT Enterprise Forum in Cambridge. And it's even though it has the name MIT, I'm not an MIT grad, but I just thought it was a really interesting organization. And we've worked with Lawrence Tech on numerous occasions, and it's been a very successful collaboration. Lawrence Tech has been great in terms of giving up facilities, helping with some organizing events and things like that. So I've always had a very positive sense of the university. Being that it is has a very strong reputation of hands-on, practical, in what I would refer to as applied research, I think there's some great opportunities to fundamentally change the economic landscape by taking some of the technology that is in the university and making it commercially applicable. And I think Lawrence Tech is a perfect size school to be able to do that. So when I found that there was this opportunity open, I kind of tossed my name in the hat and got selected. So